If one knows God, then whatever name one's worshipful heart gives him is true and good. Please continue watching to find out more.
We greet you with Witajcie drodzy widzowie, meaning hello dear viewers in Polish. I'm Krystyna. The gentle people of Poland are sincerely thankful for your diligent prayers for a vegan world to be here soon. Such heartfelt, devoted efforts are blessed by God. Hryhorii Skovoroda was an 18th century philosopher, poet and composer of religious music. A number of his writings can be found in his songs, several of which have been adapted to Ukrainian folk music. Skovoroda's work contributed to the culture of both Russia and Ukraine. He has been called Socrates, both as a moralist and one whose Socratic style is intended to stimulate thought and self-introspection. At the same time, Skovoroda's writings are imaginative, witty, and dramatic, with themes that highlight happiness and appreciation of life. Skovoroda did not seek to have his work published while he was still alive. He was more concerned with living in a manner true to the moral values upheld in his writings. 3 days prior to his death, Skovoroda went to stay with one of his closest friends. Each day he left the house and it was discovered that he was digging his own burial place beneath a tree. On the 3rd day, he announced that his time had come, and he simply lay down and passed away. At his request, his epitaph said, "The world tried to capture me, but didn't succeed." In recognition of his works and numerous contributions, Hryhorii Skovoroda's portrait was printed on the second largest banknote in circulation in Ukraine, the 500 hryvnia note. We now share with you excerpts from his writings in a conversation among 5 travelers concerning life's true happiness. God is nature, knowing God is happiness. Most merciful nature has opened the path to happiness to all souls without exception. Each and every one is born into the world for a good end, and a good end means happiness. How can one say that nature, our universal mother, has not opened the path to happiness for every creature that breathes? In the Bible, God is called fire, water, wind, iron, stone, and countless other names. Why then should he not be called nature? It could be impossible to find a more important and more seemly name for God than this one. Natura is a Latin word. This word refers to everything that is born within the machine of this world. But why not call him in whom the whole world with its birds is concealed, like a beautiful flowering tree within the seed from which it develops, by the name that encompasses all creation, that is, nature? Moreover, the word nature means not only every being that is born and changes, but also the secret economy of that ever-present force which has its center or chief midpoint everywhere and its circumference nowhere, like the sphere by which that force is graphically represented. Is this not like God? It is called nature because everything that happens on its outer surface or is born out of its secret, unbounded depths, as from the womb of our universal mother, has a beginning in time. And since this mother to give birth does not receive from anyone, but gives birth of herself, she is called both Father and the Principle, that has neither beginning nor end, and is dependent upon neither time nor place. Painters represented it by a circlet or ring, or else by a coiled serpent holding its tail between its teeth. The action of this all-present, all-powerful, and all-wise force is called the secret law, governance, or realm that is diffused endlessly and timelessly throughout all matter. That is, one cannot ask when it began, for it always was, nor how long it will last, for it will always be, nor to what point it extends, for it is everywhere at all times. Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? God says to Moses, if through the darkness of matter thou canst glimpse what everywhere was, is, and will be, that is my name and my nature. The name is in the nature, and the nature is in the name. The one does not differ from the other. Both are the same. Both are eternal. He who sees me through the darkness with the eye of faith knows my name. But he who seeks to know my name knows neither me nor my name, for both are the same. My name and I are one. I am he who is. I am that I am. If one knows God, then whatever name one's worshipful heart gives him is true and good. It does not matter that one person knows bread and another artos, as long as they do not differ in understanding. Moses and Isaiah call him I am. Following them, Paul said the same yesterday and today and forever. And the theologian gives him another name. God is love. What he calls love is the same simple unity everywhere, always, and in everything. Love and unity are the same. The unity of parts is alien to him, hence disintegration is not necessary, and destruction is completely ruled out. Jeremiah calls him a sword, while Paul calls him the living word, but they mean the same thing. The sword cuts down everything perishable and all things that become dilapidated, like garments, while the words of his law and kingdom do not pass away. God did not limit happiness to the days of Abraham, to the ancestors of Solomon, or to the reign of King David, to the sciences or to social ranks, to natural gifts or to wealth. For this reason, he did not open the path to it to everyone and is just in all his acts. We seek happiness in our social stations, our epoch, our country, while it is always and everywhere with us. We are in it like fish in water, surrounding us. It seeks us out. It is nowhere because it is everywhere. It is like the radiance of the sun. All you have to do is open a passage for it into your soul. It is always knocking against your wall, seeking an entrance and not finding it. And your heart is dark and joyless, like the brink of an abyss. Is it not foolishness and madness to worry about a valuable garland? To what end? As though a man in a simple cap could not enjoy the blessed and universal light to which this prayer flows upward. Hear me, O thou Holy One, who has an eternal and seeing eye. Is there any more miserable creature than a man who has not discovered what is best and most desirable for him? We have measured the sea, the earth, the air, and the heavens, and have disturbed the belly of the earth to draw out metals. We have traced the paths of the planets. We have found mountains, rivers, and cities on the moon. We have discovered a countless multitude of unfinished worlds. We built incomprehensible machines, fill great abysses, block off and redirect the flow of waters. Every day we produce new experiments and wild inventions. Good heavens, what is there that we cannot do? But the sad thing is that in all this, greatness is lacking. Something is missing that we cannot even name. We know something is missing, but we do not know what it is. We are like an infant that cannot yet talk. It only cries and feels only frustration, without being able to know or to say what it needs. Does not our soul's evident dissatisfaction suggest that all of our sciences cannot satiate our minds? You see the sciences filling the soul's abyss. we have devoted a countless multitude of spinning systems with planets like clockworks on English bell towers, planets with mountains, oceans, and cities, yet we remain ravenous. Our thirst is not slaked, rather it increases. We now share with you excerpts from his writings in a conversation among 5 travelers concerning life's true happiness. God is nature, knowing God is happiness. God is nature, knowing God is happiness. The more copiously we dine on mathematics, medicine, physics, mechanics, music, and their ungovernable sisters, the more our heart burns with hunger and thirst. In our coarse stupefaction, we fail to realize that all of them are only head maidens serving a mistress, tails to a head without which the entire body is ineffective. What is hunger more restless and dangerous than a human heart that is attended by these ungoverned helpers? Is there anything it will not dare to undertake? The insatiable spirit drives the people. It furthers and follows its inclination, like a ship without a pilot or a carriage without a driver, without counsel, foresight, or enjoyment. Alienated and erring, from the moment we leave the womb, we avoid the essential truth, which rings out over the spiritual abyss in us. I am he who is. Since people have not yet taken account of their most essential need, or of the limit, line, and boundary of all their desires and intentions, so as to direct all their works to this most central and certain point they have neglected, the mistress of all the ancillary spirits and sciences that from earth return to earth, and bypass the door of her mercy, a door that opens a way out and leads our thoughts away from the base villainy of the shadows towards the radiant and essential truth of an unfading happiness. If a resident of one of the cities of the moon were to visit our earthly globe, would he not be astonished at our wisdom? But at the same time, would not our moon man be beside himself to discover that we are blind and stupid in dealing with the economy of our own tiny world as with the workings of an English watch? Like perfect drones, we neither notice nor care about the most astonishing of all systems, the system of our own small body. We neglect the supreme science to which every period, country, rank, sex, and age has open access, the doctrine that happiness is necessary to everyone without exception. This cannot be said of any other science. In this way, the Supreme Parliament, which eternally governs the ages and systems, has proved sufficiently that it is always righteous and that its judgments are always just. Our ancestors, a long time ago, had already built temples constituting Christ's school. In it, the whole human race learns what its congenial happiness is, and this is the universal science. Pagan temples or shrines are also temples of Christ's teaching and school. Inside and outside their walls was written this most wise and blessed phrase, Gnotis avton, nosce te ipsum, know thyself. Undeniably, we have the same idea. For example, only take thyself and keep thy soul, Moses. The kingdom of God is within you, Christ. Ye are the temple of the living God, Paul. If thou be wise, thou shalt be wise for thyself, Solomon. If you do not understand yourself, Solomon, thy law is within my belly, David. He that believeth not shall be damned, Christ. But because of the hypocrisy of unskilled prophets, that is, priests or teachers, the pagan temples have become by now completely corrupt and an abomination of desolation, while the true and living spring water is stomped into the ground and buried by cattle hoofs. This also happened to the Jews. The truth was often buried among them for long periods, because the number of Isaac's servants who cleaned out Abraham's wells decreased, while the number of Samsons and Philistines who filled with earth the wells of water flowing to eternal life increased. And these fountains were buried so deeply that, as the Bible shows, the Jews could discover only with great effort the divine law in God's temple, that is, come to know themselves and find the power of God's kingdom and His truth within themselves. Now we ourselves have become quite different from our distant Christian ancestors, before whose blessed eyes God's truth, which was lifted from the earth, and the power of the radiant resurrection, which was raised from the grave, shone with their full brilliance. Furthermore, our instructors today are not very skillful. The reason for this is that no one wants to liberate oneself from everyday affairs and to purify one's heart, to be able to penetrate into the inner depths of the sweetest truth, which is concealed in the holy temple of the Bible, and is most necessary for the happiness of all nations. We do not hear David's "free yourself and understand," or listen to Christ's "seek," for every science, every trade, and anything else is dearer to us than that which alone finds us, lost souls, and restores us to ourselves. This is to be happy, to discover, to find oneself. Can an apple tree be alive and joyful if its root is not healthy? But a healthy root is a firm soul and a heart at peace. A healthy root brings moisture to all the limbs and gives them life. A heart at peace, filled with living moisture, makes its imprint upon the external surface. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Here is the summit and flower of all your life, inner peace, the heart's gladness, the soul's strength. Direct all your deeds towards this. Here is the limit, haven, and end. Cut off anything that is opposed to this haven. Let every word, every action promote this end. Let this be the limit for all your thoughts and desires. How many people are healthy, well-fed, well-clothed, and at peace in respect to the body? But that is not the peace I am praising. That is a worldly peace, which is known to all and deceives everyone. Here is peace in the mind's calmness, the heart's rejoicing, and the soul's quickening. This is peace. This is the inner core of happiness. This peace opens the temple of tranquility for your thoughts, clothes your soul in the garments of myrrh, and nourishes the heart with wheat flour and strengthens it. O peace, you are God's, and God is yours. Let the peace of God rule in your hearts. Wondrous viewers, it's been a pleasure to have your company on today's Words of Wisdom. Coming up next is the art of ice sculpting. Right after noteworthy news, please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more positive programs. May your wish for inner peace and happiness be fulfilled through the loving grace of heaven.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
รายการของเรามีให้หลายภาษาโปรดดู suprememastertv.com/schedule และ suprememastertv.com/WOW